Well, hello. As you can see, a slightly different backdrop. I'm here in Belfast and very, very excited, very honoured to be here for the Callback Belfast. And I've just come from Awakening Europe, the Callback Rotterdam. And this year there are 9 cities where different members of the team have gone for a callback for those cities. We're calling people back. It's time to call people back who are Europeans who've gone and lived in other places. I guess Sue and I maybe were a fraction ahead of the game. We came back a few years ago, but I believe it's Europe's time, and I'm now here in Belfast. I'll tell you a couple of things about that in a minute. But, Awakening Europe Rotterdam was a truly special and beautiful event and time together. I'm incredibly grateful to Ben Fitzgerald, to Matthias van der Steen, for the whole team there. The team behind the scenes that nobody ever sees, but they make the event happen. It's absolutely extraordinary. And the thing about Awakening Europe that I think marks it is the way that Ben Fitzgerald stewards the Holy Spirit in meetings. He's never in a hurry. Sometimes it makes us nervous when we know there's a lunch break or something, but he's never in a hurry, and he always allows the Holy Spirit, the room, to move. And that's a truly wonderful and beautiful thing. And I absolutely honor him for that. It was wonderful to be there, just so good. It felt like a new day for us all, especially a new day for Europe Shall Be Saved. And we had the privilege of sharing with 500 or 600 leaders for a day there in Rotterdam before the main event. And I was also privileged to be able to just spend some time with probably nearly 100 of our alumni, perhaps a little less, who gathered together. And it was a great privilege just to be there amongst them as we processed the sad passing of Benny Johnson, and just processed that. And of course, if you haven't heard it, I encourage you to listen to Bill Johnson last Sunday when he talked about so many things, but so deep, so real, so revelatory, so helpful for all of us as we process grief. So I got to just spend some time with them, which was very precious. Sue and I were there with them for that time, and both of us had the opportunity to hug some necks and wipe some eyes. It's very, very important for us. And then we were there, as I say, for the Awakening Europe, where we saw hundreds, maybe 1,000 plus saved, running to the front. There's nothing quite like it. Running to the front is a really just a really beautiful thing. We must see that. Every one of us needs to see that. My wife says every believer needs to be in a room where people run to meet Jesus. And I completely agree with her. Couldn't agree with her more. So, yeah. And I had the privilege, an extraordinary privilege, of sharing the stage with an absolute hero. 25 years ago, I sat with Claudio Friedson in his church. I was just visiting there, not in ministry, running a prison. Got to sit in the room and listen to that great man 25 years ago. Probably one of the few people I've ever asked to sign my Bible. And he signed it and said, Psalm 126. We were like those who dreamed when the Lord restored everything stolen because of captivity. Gosh, if you told me then 25 years ago that one day I'd stand on the stage and minister with him, be joining him as he cried out for more, mass fuego. I think I might have locked myself up for insanity if I dreamed of that one, but there I was. It was a wonderful experience to get to do that and to share a message that I believe God gave me, which was find your story. And so it's a wonderful time, really, really wonderful time. And I really do believe it's Europe's time. It's a privilege to watch the young band from Cromer Church we're very close to, where we hold the leaders gathering in Leicester now a couple of times a year with Steve and Juliet Barber, the leaders there. They lead that gathering and kindly share it with us. It's wonderful. But their band, Cromer Music, were invited to share. Ben being Ben, he spotted something on them and he invited them. And, there was some great worship there. Jeremy Riddle, of course. But in some respects, for me, they stole the show. Not necessarily because they were better. It's not about being better. But there was something so special about them being there. A young band. Nobody knew who they were. But they united us in worship, in the presence. But they also released a sound. The sound, I believe, European, a British sound, and it was wonderful to hear that and join in that. So many things, people saved on the streets, people carrying wheelchairs out of meetings. It was truly remarkable, truly wonderful to be there. One of the great privileges of my life that I get to share in. So I'd share that with you. I also believe the Lord has given me a word for us, particularly in Europe, but I think it's for all of us. In many respects, I believe that there is a false narrative in our world, a pressure for nationalism. And it's that pressure for us to protect our nations. And it's actually a counterfeit narrative. We should care about our nations, absolutely care about our nations. And not only that, we should have a cry for our nations. Ask, says the psalmist, and I will give you the nations as your inheritance. And I'm believing that for us in Europe. And I believe the word the Lord gave me was this, that sometimes we've needed resuscitating. Our hearts needed the paddles. And, sometimes we've gone to other lands for that, to Toronto, to Bethel, to Pensacola, to Argentina. And as it were, we've been resuscitated. Our lifeless hearts have been brought back to life. And we've needed that. And sometimes we've had the heart-lung bypass machine plugged in so that we can be kept alive as we're plugged into another network, another stream, as it were. And that's very important for us to understand that. And there are times when we've needed it. We've desperately needed it. And then there are other times when there's been a transplant, as it were, that's come to our land. It's not just the UK. We see it in so many places, and we're so grateful that, Hillsong and Vineyard and others have planted churches in our land. And we need to keep doing all of these things. None of them are wrong. But I believe the Lord said it's time to take care of your heart, your nation's heart. And I believe that. I believe it is time. And the Lord told me when I came back from America to Europe, stand up where you were brought up and declare the Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me. We need to find our voice, our confidence for our own lands, for our own nations. And I'm really believing that. So I believe it's something the Lord told me, take care of our own hearts. But then finally here to call back Belfast. What a wonderful city this is. Of course, a city that's seen so many troubles in its history. But first time I came here several years ago with my good friend Ian Carroll, I'd seen much of Ireland, and I touched some of the Celtic and the mystic history. And every now and then Ian would say, do you get it yet? And I'd say, it's beautiful, but I'm not quite sure I've got what you want me to get. And then I got on an open top bus in Belfast, and I drove around the districts which I had watched on the news as a boy and a teenager, a young man even. And I began to cry because I saw those names that were so troubled. And it's people that matters to me, and peace that matters to me, and unity that matters to me. And I found myself in a city that I believe is a city of reconciliation. Reconciliation is when the books are balanced, when the need matches the resource. And we have the great resource in Jesus, and we are in a world of great need. And I believe that something's happening in this city that will be a model for the world. Jesus reconciles all things unto himself. So I'm privileged to be here. In a little while I'll be preaching. I'm honored to do that, blessed to do that, and be preaching the gospel. Of course, Luke 15, one of the great stories, of course, of reconciliation. Reconciliation with the Father, not just for the young boy, but for the older brother. The potential was there for the older brother to step in and to know that the Father had always been with him and everything he had is his. So it's been a wonderful few days, busy few days, a few early mornings, a few late nights, but people running to the front to receive Jesus. And now here I am in Belfast. The band here are from St. Paul's Hammersmith. That's a wonderful privilege too. Some new friends and deepening some other relationships, which is really the beauty of this. I love the relationships when I travel. So I just want to bless you. It's our time, Europe. I'm not saying it's not America's time. I believe it's America's time too. I was out in Rotterdam, of course, with my good friend Tom Crandall. One Hope for America. He's leading. I believe he's right. And but it's one hope for Europe, one hope for Ireland, one hope for Great Britain, one hope. His name is Jesus. And it's our time. want to encourage Europeans, Brits, the Irish, the Welsh, the Scots, the English. It's our time. It's our time to stand up where we were brought up. Let's never again say, can any good thing come out of our town, our land, our city? Let's say, no, let me show you what's happening in our land. So bless you. It's been a great few days. I'll catch up with you again, I'm sure, in another couple of days. And I got something else to share, actually, something I believe that the Lord wants me to build in the coming weeks, months, and years. So bless you. I'll talk soon. Bye.